This episode of Cult of Horror is dedicated to the memory of Sid Haig and was recorded before we were informed of his passing. Our thoughts and hearts go out to Sid's family at this very difficult time. Rest in peace, Sid. Gone, but never forgotten.
Yeah, lotion in it?
Yeah.
That really does look like my tattoos, though.
Oh, it's scarring like a motherfucker.
Nah.
Yeah, it's gonna
look
scar.
at the outline. It's gonna scar like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's fine, though, because it's black, so...
It's the worst tattoo you could have gotten.
It really is.
Yeah. But nobody believes Elliott till it's too late.
Not even. Look at the lines on that one. That's fucked. That's been there like 20 years.
Yeah, there's no scars on that, though.
Yeah.
It's blown out lines.
This one is the one that's scarred. You could kind of see
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That one's scarred
That's
bad.
more scar than ink right there.
Yeah, that's more scar than ink for sure. And that's because I was a mechanic at the time, and I had to wear long sleeves, and the cuff is like super thick, and it was just rubbing flesh off.
Dude, people love that.
Yeah.
Why are they dressed like that?
Everybody's like, it's the best intro you guys had. And it's like, well, I'm stupid, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, do it again.
Do it again.
I gotta do it again. Yeah. You can't fucking... Lightning don't strike twice.
What are you talking about, you dunce?
I'm gold.
That we're a cult.
Literally nothing I do.
You guys catch up.
No.
There's nothing culty about us. It's pissing me off.
I really... God damn it.
I didn't go to seminary school to not be in a cult.
I learned... Hello, and welcome to Cult of Horror. We are a, I guess, sporadically releasing monthly horror podcast that talks about news, we do reviews, and we just talk about all the culture behind horror movies as well.
We like to talk about the scary movies.
Talk about scary movies, upcoming scary movies, what we thought about scary movies, and scary movies that we think should be more scary.
And random tangents.
Yeah, and stupid
Lots of
fucking
those
shit.
ones.
Dick jokes.
Yeah, if you like
Dicks are not
stupid
funny.
jokes,
Dicks are not funny. They're a serious thing.
Yeah, if there's one coming at you.
Or on you.
Or on, yeah. Wake up with a dick on you, you get problems.
Damn.
So, my name's Hunter.
My name is Eric.
My name is neither of those names.
That's Elliott.
He's a douche.
So, what y'all been doing?
I was in East Texas relaxing, maxing, fishing and shit. I didn't catch a fucking thing.
Except the love of my life.
Got that crick water in your tattoo. Eric recently got a tattoo on his arm.
Very questionable tattoo
from subjects that will not be named.
Just some backstory. So Eric's got this fresh ink, and
He got an illegal tattoo.
he got an illegal tattoo from his...
Why do you keep saying illegal?
Because...
Show me the papers on that tattoo.
So you go to the fucking lake house, and you're, like, too afraid to swim because it's definitely questionable.
It's definitely...
Even if it was a fucking profesh tattoo, you don't want to get in the fucking
No,
lake
that's
water.
true. That's true. So, I mean, I get it.
I was scared of amoebas, okay? So we got this... in the last week, my wife and I went to East Texas to kind of get away from it all. We rented like an Airbnb on a lake, and I had all these plans of, hopping in the lake and going swimming and all this stuff and shooting, videos in the lake of simulating murder. And on the way there, I was like, yeah, I just read this story. Somebody at another lake in East Texas, apparently there's amoebas in the water, and it crawled up this lady's nose and killed her.
Great. So there goes the vacation.
There goes the touching of the water. And, of course, we get to the lake, and all I see is amoeba everywhere.
Yeah. He's like, I was going to drink out of that lake. Can't now. Hate my life.
Fucking amoebas.
I was, like, obsessively fishing and didn't catch a fucking thing. Like, I didn't even want to leave because I didn't catch anything.
Well, amoeba's got the fish.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, dude, the amoebas. Dude, that's Honeymoon. That's the movie Honeymoon right there.
That's one way I don't want to die is like an amoeba up the nose.
Nah, dude, that's bullshit. That's a bullshit way to die. No small, like, microscopic creature's gonna kill my ass.
Exactly.
Every time I see like the dude, I was right on my back, scraped against a tree, flesh-eating bacteria took my arm. I'm like, fuck.
But it was a good trip. It was a good trip.
That's
I got
good.
to disconnect
You need
and
that.
yeah.
You need that. I don't know why the fuck you go into the middle of no. Well, actually, now I know why. Because you just love horror so much, you just put you right there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Just put you right in.
I don't think that's what it was.
Did we record about the no cell phone signal?
I don't know.
No. So out here, there was absolutely no cell phone signal for Verizon. Apparently, there's no tower anywhere near that lake.
Shit, dude.
It starts off with us, pulling up into the cabin, and my wife had all the instructions on, I guess, an email or something, and of course she can't pull it up. How the fuck do we get in the house?
Always screenshot.
We had to drive like 10 minutes away just to get a fucking cell phone
Son of a
signal
bitch.
to get everything. And then like we're in the cabin and then it finally kind of hits us like,
We're gonna die here.
yeah. It's like, because you're next to a lake and it's pitch black at night and like
Middle of nowhere.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's literally a horror movie. You were like,
That's what she kept saying. That
Have you
this
ever
is how
seen-
you're gonna die.
what's it called? What's that fucking movie? I'm not gonna think of it. What keeps you alive?
Is that the name of the movie, or is that you not thinking of it?
No, that's the name of the movie. It's like the lesbian couple, and they came out this year, and it's like a survival kind of deal.
I saw the trailer on Netflix.
How is it? Is it worth a watch?
I'm not
One of
gonna lie,
those.
like I liked it. It is flawed as fuck.
That's what I kept reading, so I was just like, eh.
Like, I really enjoyed I almost did all the way up until like 3/4 of the movie. I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna do my review on this. And then like near the third act.
12th act.
Now, near the 17th micron of an act, it kind of just took a dive. It's pretty good. It's not
Oh.
great. It's pretty entertaining. But yeah, it's like that movie that you've never seen.
Relate to that now.
Okay.
Relate to what that man just said.
Yeah, it was just like that.
Yeah, see, I told you. I fucking. Oh, you know what I did?
Tell us.
On Friday the 13th, I watched every Friday the 13th except for Freddy vs. Jason.
Why?
Is Freddy versus Jason part of it, or is it more?
I mean,
like in
I
the-
think it's in this
more in the Nightmare on Elm Street?
I think it's officially in the count of both
it?
because it's kind of the best movie in both franchises.
Oh, you're tripping.
It's kind of
Better
like,
than Dream Warriors?
everything's better than Dreamweaver.
You son of a bitch.
So I binge watched all Friday the 13th, and man, I gotta say, it's not as bad of a franchise as I thought it was. I mean, like, honestly, they're pretty fucking good movies.
I enjoy them.
Like, the first half, like, I don't think there's a real bad one. Like, honestly, they're all good in their own ways.
Jason Goes to Hell is terrible.
Jason versus Carrie.
Jason versus
New Blood.
Carrie. Oh, and the New Blood.
Yeah.
Like,
terrible movie.
The one thing I will say about the Friday the 13th is there's a movie in that franchise for everybody, for every type of horror fan, I think.
I'll have to agree.
And
Which
that's-
one is it where Jason isn't really in it? That's my favorite.
Fake Jason.
Fake Jason.
Is that the one? What is that?
New
Jason Goes
Beginning.
to Hell?
New Beginning.
Like, they're completely different movies. You know, Jason Takes New York. Like, what the fuck?
Takes
dude?
Manhattan.
Yeah, Jason takes Manhattan.
He puts the man in Manhattan.
They're only in Manhattan for like 20 minutes.
That's all at the time he needed to take that motherfucker.
Because he's only in there for a chase sequence, pretty much. You can't just like release him into Manhattan and then like have that many people and that many giant outdoor sets.
That had one of the coolest kills though.
Dude.
Give me your best shot. Boom.
Knocks
Yeah.
that fucker's head in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole sequence when they're on the boat,
We're on a boat.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's like Deep Blue Sea.
Deep, oh my
It's
god.
literally
Blue
just
Jason.
like Deep Blue Jason.
But
yeah.
no, Jason versus Carrie had the best looking Jason in my opinion. That zombied up Jason.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's amazing,
He
but
was
then
scary.
it's wasted on the stupidness of that movie.
Now, I wish I would have watched like the super high def like quality one, because I've seen really high renderings of that like scene where he takes his mask completely off.
or knocks it off or some
She
shit.
breaks it with her mind powers.
Like straight up zombie face Jason.
Yeah.
Like,
And he's all pissed off about it.
yeah, and he's just like,
My face. He's like, don't look at me.
I straight up, I swear to God, if Jason ever were to talk, that's his voice.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
He talks in Manhattan.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
What the fuck does he say?
He's all like, "Mommy," at the end or some shit. He gets hit.
Oh,
with a
That's the
tractor whip.
fucking kid. That's in his head.
No, it ain't. That's Jason talking. That's what he sounds like.
Bullshit.
Hey, everybody.
I like how in Freddy vs. Jason they go back to that. That's like the only movie that mentions like that part of it.
Yeah.
And then like Freddy vs. Jason, it's like a big sequence in it.
The director wanted to go back to the beginning of both films because it got so out of control towards the later
Well, it
franchise
did.
series.
Fucking
I just
did.
like the first 3 had like serious continuity.
Oh yeah,
And then
I love
after
that.
that, it just went fucking crazy.
But like 1 through like 6 is like solid, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's Jason Lives. He comes back with a lightning bolt, and then you got like the guy who should be Kane Hodder, like standing on the fucking like RV where it's like on fire. That's like iconic Jason, dude.
Yeah, that was the birth of like badass Jason. I forget the name. I think his name's like CJ something.
Something like that.
Something like he like because there's two
CJ
Jasons
Hooker.
in that movie.
That's what. Yeah, we saw him at the thing.
CJ Graham.
CG Hooker.
There's one dude who was killing the paintball guys who, if you notice, is a little huskier as a Jason. And then Jason like slims
huskier.
down for the rest of the movie and is that CJ dude. And like he kind of like he doesn't get credit for but like being the badass Jason where he's like standing. He's like trimmed up. He's buff. He's standing on top of the fucking
Yeah.
RV and he's just like fucking taking names.
Dude, no shit. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good franchise.
Halloween
like,
is better. Have a nice day.
I like that.
I do like Halloween better, but that's just. I mean, I think that it
I
was.
fucking love it. I had a very good Friday the 13th. I watched the.
I always do. I always had the best luck on Friday the 13th.
I'm going to tell you something I did that week.
Yeah.
You know how I always bashed Hatchet?
Yeah.
I just saw all of them, and I like it better than Friday the 13th.
All right. I guess I'll have to watch it now.
Oh, the first one is not very good.
But
The first one is good.
through it. So, I mean, yeah, watch Friday the 13th. I tried to film some shorts.
I filmed some
we
shorts.
tried to film some shorts. I
We
guess.
all try to fill some shorts.
Yeah. We all bought some shorts, some new shorts for the summer, even though the summer's over.
I don't own shorts. No.
Straight up, dude. Look, I even got a tan.
Oh, shit.
See, they're
That
not
is
like-
white as fucking hell. That
All I
was-
see
It's
is
not see-through anymore.
You got hair on your leg?
Just right here.
I just see some tattoo reels today. That's all I see.
Reel it in there, bud.
Looks like somebody needs a dragon.
I'm gonna get a phoenix on my outer thigh, rising from the fire to like reflect my life and the struggles I've overcome.
Cool.
That's very
Now I'm just
unique.
gonna extrapolate on what you said. And I'm gonna turn that phoenix into a fucking dragon.
For the longest,
Freeze
I've
fire.
wanted bats coming out of my asshole.
That's
and
fucking-
my wife will not let me do it at all.
gotta
When I
look
went
at
to
it.
get this tattoo, she fucking called me. If you remember when she called me?
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you getting? It better not be bats out of your asshole."
That's funny because that's a discussion that you have to have in earnest every time you get a tattoo.
Fuck, dude.
I want it so bad. Like, I think that'd be cool to like bend over and show a little crack, and then just bats coming out of my ass crack.
I think that's hilarious. You know, I have an ass tattoo, and it's pretty funny. It's not bats, though. It's
If you wanted to get like her name and like a portrait or something, like it's a surprise, she'd be just like, "Fuck you, it's over. It better not be bats. It's bats, isn't it? No, I just can't tell you. It's a you can love it. It's for you. It's a surprise. It's fucking ass bats."
I walk in the house, the first thing she does, "Put your pants down. Let me see your ass."
God. So, God damn,
It's happening though. It's gonna happen sooner or later.
It's gonna. Let's get into some news. We talked a lot about bullshit.
News.
So, Elliott, do you have any news? I know 3 from Hell came out, and it's kind of polarizing. Like, even people that really like Rob Zombie.
So what's up with that? Cause
Here's the fucking thing that pisses me off.
From Hell.
3 days. It was out for 3 days, and now it's going to be on VOD in, like, October.
I saw them announce that it's gonna be out again.
In theaters?
Theaters and select theaters, yeah.
Yeah, that's how, like, I'm telling you, that's how horror movies and shit are gonna be. All the low budget and indies, especially the indies, it's gonna be in theaters and VOD at the exact same time, and the theater's gonna be limited release.
What movies? Like,
Nature of the Beast, like a bunch of fucking horror ones. Say, I think Lords of Salem was the same thing.
Oh yeah.
And then like all the fucking indies that no one gives a shit about. That's what they're doing.
Okay.
It's like we got a limited release in New York and LA, and then the VOD everywhere tomorrow.
VOD.
Have you seen the announcements for Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yes. Now,
So the actor, I don't know why I want to call him Robert Patton. Mark Patton.
oh, I thought it was Mike Patton.
No, Mark Patton. This was his first role. He is a gay actor, and at the time, he wasn't out yet. And, you know, this movie is very heavy leaning towards... I mean, it's like an iconic gay horror film in my eyes.
I didn't know that. Because I watched that movie, like, religiously.
There's so many undertones, though, in that movie
I
that,
didn't know.
like, tell you that the main actor's gay.
Really?
It's like known for like the homoeroticism in it.
Yeah, it's like so deep into it. And it's like an iconic, like, film for, you know, the gay horrors subgenre. But I guess it was like a nightmare for him to film. He always assumed that it ruined his career, and I believe he even left the country.
He did. He left the country.
Yeah, and only to come back and find years later that there's a huge following for that movie.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Yeah.
And it terrified me as a kid. You know, that bus driving scene, the opening scene, like, I've had that reoccurring nightmare, like, my entire 4th grade.
I'm excited to watch that documentary. I mean, hear his side. I can only imagine how terrifying it is, you know, to have to hide your identity and be in a movie like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm excited for it. Like, honestly, that's something that I really do want to check out and maybe kind of talk a little bit about.
Also, I guess, and
Something
speaking
else.
of 80s slashers, American Horror Story 1984 is now playing. Did anybody watch that?
No.
I haven't, only because I don't like to just watch one episode and then it's over and I have to wait.
You're
I'm a
binging.
binger.
Not so much as a binger, but I need a good hour and a half block.
Yeah.
I'm psyched about it, but the track record of the show being consistently horrible from its like
It always starts.
Conception is
every single season starts out fantastic. Well,
The
I don't
first
wanna- I don't even
season
wanna
to
say
me
that.
was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
to
it was
me.
pretty good, but it like kind of lost the
the middle.
original like
Yeah.
way. It always does. It kind of trails off. Every
Yeah.
single season starts strong, trails the fuck off.
Yeah, it dipped for sure. It ended strong, and there's a lot of soap opera bullshit in it. After that, like, that show sucks so hard, so fucking hard. So I know this 1984. Like, I'm in love with the ad campaign currently. Like, all the posters, like all the retro posters. Like,
Classic.
I'm like I messaged the Instagram for American Horror Story because they were putting all the posters. Like, how would one like procure these posters? And they didn't say anything to me.
Go fuck yourself.
But yeah,
Elliot.
I want to buy all those fucking posters. They're amazing.
They're honestly like fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know why the dude has like a ski mask, but then has like a flock of seagulls like side devil lock. He has like he has a front ponytail coming out of the ski mask. Like, I don't
Maybe there's
understand
several
that.
killers. I don't know.
I don't understand what's going there, but I fucking love those posters. And if any from American Horror Story, you buy clothing from my company for your fucking TV show, so maybe you could hook me up with some
Speaking
posters.
about hair, I'm kind of upset at my haircut. I don't know.
I like
You guys-
it. You
guys
look,
haven't said anything, but
You look like Brad Pitt from that Tank movie.
oh, thanks.
Yeah, you look from that Tank movie. Is that what it's?
Yeah, Fury.
That's what. It was,
This
you
wasn't
look-
supposed to look like this.
What
Yeah,
was it supposed to look like?
I was supposed to have a lot more hair than this.
I like
Really?
it, dude. You
Yeah.
look you look jacked. You look,
Dude, it looks like every other haircut you've had, except you have like long swoop bangs.
Yeah.
no,
I didn't
you
like
look
it.
you look like Brad Pitt.
In some other news, and it's kind of, I guess, related to the main topic of
Nope.
It Chapter 2. The Resident Evil 2
crisis in Saudi Arabia.
The Resident Evil 2 remake has a new mod where you can play against Pennywise. Like, you're trying to survive against Pennywise. It's fucking kind of cool.
So over with Pennywise.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of done. But at the same time, like, that's pretty fucking cool, man. I'd love to play a video game with Pennywise. Like, I'm trying to save my ass from Pennywise.
There's a new Grudge movie coming out
That's-
next year. If
exactly.
anybody liked any of that.
Well, they're
didn't
saying
like
that it's
the
going to be
American
super.
remake.
Who's the director on that one? The new Grudge?
Me.
Oh, okay, dude. So it's going to suck. All right. Is the Grudge? I never saw the remake of the Grudge.
With Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah, which I love Buffy, so I don't know why I didn't do it.
I don't know. That movie wasn't very good. The American remake I didn't like.
Dude, they had that whole like flash of American remakes of all those Japanese movies, starting with the damn Ring. Those were not good.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like the Ring, the American Ring, still has like a place in my heart because it scared the fucking shit out of me.
Deep in my heart.
It's got me right in the butt.
Just like the bat.
Directed by Nicholas Piskey.
He did The Eyes of My Mother.
That's what it fucking was.
Yeah.
The Eyes of My Mother. That's what makes me see, man.
See, fuck you guys.
And honestly, if
That was a beautiful fucking movie.
dude, if that is still on Netflix, fuck, dude. The Eyes of My Mother is probably one of my favorite movies in the last few years. I'd give it like a fucking 9, dude. I fucking love that movie. And
you're entitled to your opinion.
man, fuck you. I'll hold
Very
firm
good
on that
movie.
shit.
That's a
I
very good
fucking
movie. I
love
love
that
that
movie.
I
So
own it. I fucking own it.
we're
Preaching to
done
the
on
choir right
news.
now, man.
I mean, yeah,
guess,
we
yeah.
kind of covered a lot of it last time, and there's really not too
Yeah.
much that's new.
We're not gonna make it more movies in a week.
Black Christmas sucks. I can already tell you right now.
I don't even have to see this shit.
I finally got to see that trailer in theaters, and that pissed me off. I almost fucking left Black Christmas.
Anybody heard anything about this candy corn movie?
I keep
Oh,
seeing
yes!
advertisements
I keep
for
fucking
it.
seeing everything about it.
Yeah, it's got Poncho from
31.
from 31.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is Tony Todd up in there?
I think
Yeah,
so.
it's supposed to be like
Yeah, but I don't know what the fuck this movie's about. I see more advertisement for this movie than I have any other movie ever.
Yeah, I
They
haven't
already
heard.
got like merch out and shit.
I've yet to see good reviews about it.
I don't know
haven't
what
seen
the fuck it's
anything
about.
about
I
it.
haven't seen anything about it other than just like
I've seen Cavity Colors like
Cavity
coming out.
Colors like got some cool ass shit. I got trailers. I got fucking all kinds of shit on my Instagram. I don't
Yeah.
know what the movie is.
I bet you it's just like Trick or Treat.
I don't think it's anthology. I think
You don't
it's like a freak show.
It's Halloween weekend, and a group of bullies are planning their annual hazing on local outcast Jacob Atkins. When they take things too far, he's resurrected to seek revenge against those that wronged him. So it's fucking Pumpkinhead.
Oh, really?
That's what it sounds like.
Night of the fucking
Night of the Pumpkinhead?
Scarecrow. That's what it is. So
It's on my list.
It has a 3.5 on IMDb.
Damn.
Jeez.
Just like that. What's that movie that everybody just dogs on? And it's supposed to be like a prison escape like movie that has all of the classic horror villains in it. Like
Hell
that has
House-
Oh,
it's,
Death House.
Death House. There you go.
Death House.
Yeah,
That movie was the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah. They fucking put Gunnar Hansen in there after his death, and it was just ruined his memory. And they dedicated the film to him, and
It's like, don't do that.
then he didn't have it. He's like, ugh. Like I thought cancer was the worst thing to happen to me. Fucking Death House.
I was
movie
wrong.
made no sense.
Nothing about that movie. Like I wouldn't even by looking at it on Netflix, I wouldn't even know that like what it is. I would think that it's just like some like action fucking movie.
Yeah,
Which kind of
like
kind
Kane
of
Hodder
is,
like
yeah.
hyped it up as like the Expendables of like horror for like a decade, and then they released it, and it was the worst. It had everybody in there. Like Sid Haig was in there for like no reason. Like everybody just had like their cameos, and then it made no fucking sense.
I know. All right.
Go Hunter, go.
I guess it's my turn. So, I saw a trailer a long time ago about this thriller that I guess it was directed by somebody I liked or something like that. Anyway, I had the idea in my head from this fucking trailer that the movie was going to be just fucking cool. It had Alexandria Daddario, and then it had Thaisa Farmiga from American Horror Story and like a lot of other horror stuff.
They're just making fun of this.
Is this that
Netflix.
We Always Lived in a Castle?
This is We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Now, here's the deal. It looked like a
Well,
creepy
it's
psychotic
based on
murder.
a Shirley Jackson novel.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, she did The Haunting, or they just did The Haunting of Hell House.
That's what. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So I had high hopes for that, and like it looked like creepy, like indie, like really kind of. So I watched it, and that thing's a fucking pile of garbage. Because I was going to talk about it.
Dude, we were watching the trailer right now before you got here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nope. As soon as she started doing the weird walk with her like head up and forward, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, it looked like it was gonna be some Twilight shit.
Yeah.
Some Twilight shit?
Like
What are you
Enchanted or
talking
some
about?
bullshit.
Well, anyway, I just thought it was like some like creepy like murder kind of deal. You know, I was kind of hoping it had more supernatural elements or some shit to it. And honestly, it kind of reminded me like of a Braid vibe, like from the movie Braid. But when I watched it, it was just literally nothing thriller about it. Terrible like period piece drama. And I cannot stress enough to you, I don't know who the target audience of this movie is, unless you just want to see Taissa Farmiga and Alexandria Daddario in a movie together. But the movie's trash. I would give it a 2.
Cool.
And it's like super bad.
So
that's what I was
Nightmare
going
on
to
Elm
do.
Street bad.
You shut your filthy
A
mouth.
Freddy Krueger level of badness we got.
So anyway, yeah,
Dream
we have
Child.
always lived in the castle. It's streaming on Netflix now. They'll put it under the fucking like thriller section. I've seen it.
It
And
is under the thriller section.
It is like the least thrilling movie I've ever seen.
I was not thrilled at all.
I would like the movie had no it like, you know how there's people that just fucking hate indie films,
Yeah.
like straight up, like they're just like,
Like
oh, they're
Elliott?
just like artsy for the artsy sake. This movie was like that. It literally went nowhere. It didn't tell a very interesting story. You know, if you're into movies where maybe relative characters like are gonna fuck, but like you don't know, like if you're into like weird fucked up like family dynamic movies.
If you like coy incest, we've always lived in
If
a
you
castle.
like coy incest, this movie is still not good. But that's the only thing that I can think of that was even mildly like, just, I don't know. This movie's garbage. So don't watch it. Don't be tricked. Because it, like, to some people that like indie movies like me, it seems like it might be okay. And it's not. It's terrible. So
We have always lived in the castle. Less of a thrill, more of a pill.
it kind of reminded
Very
me.
hard to swallow.
Like, did y'all ever watch I Am the Pretty Thing That Lived in the House or whatever?
Yep. Boring.
A lot of people really liked it, but I was like, what's the point of this like movie? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It was
So,
like a different take, but I fucking bored to tears.
yeah, it's more of like a creepy, like tense, like, you know, kind of deal. But this movie reminded me like the pacing of that, except just with nothing interesting. At least, I'm the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House had some kind of like interesting twists and turns a little bit, but this one's just garbage. Anyway, that's what I was gonna do, and then I watched this movie the other day that had been getting a lot of buzz everywhere. You know, we talked about it a little bit on a previous episode.
From the writers of A Quiet Place and produced by Eli Roth.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the gimmick on this one.
It's a movie called Haunt, 2019, because you're going to come across a couple other haunts that are just not going to be good, like 2014 Haunt and a couple other ones. I watched this new Haunt on Amazon Prime. I rented it. It's like $5 right now to rent. I think it's a Shudder film, but for some reason it's not on Shudder.
I think it is a Shudder film that's going to be on there afterwards.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. Thanks.
I've seen a lot about it on Facebook horror groups, and it's one of those where usually on every fucking single post, you'll see somebody be like, oh, hey, this was awesome. Oh, that fucking movie sucked. Because horror fans are very divided on everything. But this movie, it got like a lot of positivity. I don't think I've ever seen any posts that have like almost unanimous positivity. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Let me see like what's going on with this movie. I didn't really have a lot of interest in it because I don't really like haunt movies that much. Like,
Yeah.
as much like Extremity. Like you liked Extremity.
I fucking loved Extremity.
He loved Extremity. I wasn't a big fan of
fucking
it.
loved it.
He did. He fucking like that's probably one of his favorites. So I watched Haunt, and kind of the premise, the plot of Haunt is there's this girl who is kind of going through a lot of personal mental stuff, as well as some abuse. She has a really dark past with her family.
Is it
Her
sexual?
boyfriend. Huh?
Is it sexual? Emotional? Financial?
Maybe she's going through all of it.
Maybe it's spoiler. Watch the movie.
It is a little
find
bit of
out.
a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, she's going through a lot of trauma through her life, and you know she has a abusive boyfriend, stuff like that. This is all at the very beginning of the movie. Now she's kind of a recluse, a loner. You know, she's kind of damaged, and her friends are like, you know, hey, you need to get out of the house. You need to forget everything. It's Halloween night. Let's go and have some fun. So they go out to the club. And eventually the night leads them to an extreme haunt. It's almost like an abandoned warehouse, and there's nobody there except one guy dressed as a clown, which is on the cover.
Of course.
And this all happens in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the movie. So the setup is very fucking quick. That's all I really want to say without, revealing too much. I will say this movie was a very pleasant surprise.
Really?
Kind of its strengths. The characters were introduced very quickly. Like I said, the first 8 minutes, you get all this. And you have a little bit of a connection or an idea of who these characters are. Unlike a Friday the 13th movie where, you just see these people having a conversation and they're just like cookie cutters. Which is nice that they can do it that quickly. It makes it very effective.
I don't know why this movie made me think of Escape Room when I saw the trailer.
Here's why. The main narrative is to try to escape this haunted house, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's usually what it is. You got to go through the haunt.
Survive it.
So that's kind of how it feels. You feel like they're trying to escape. They're trying to figure out how to do this or that, and all that. But they're also, each room or each section of the movie has another side, antagonist or side mission. So it feels like, this movie is only an hour and a half, and it feels like you're there with them in the movie, and there's all kinds of twists and turns, and it's one of those where there's so many different villains. You're thinking oh shit, all they have to do is get through this room, but then there's that guy. What if they fucking see that guy? It's one of those. So I don't know. It was really effective that way. It's the perfect combination, I think, of jump scares and creepy creepiness.
Creepiness, I like that.
Where they have this, the traditional feeling of dread. They also have the jump scares, but it's more of the dread than the jump scares, and it's very slashery.
I like that.
Yeah, and you can tell the budget isn't really high, but the film it looks fucking beautiful.
You don't have to have a budget for a haunt. You just need a space. And you just fill it with the same thing anybody would fill a haunted house with. Exactly.
So that's why it was a nice setup too. It was very
all matter of factly. You wouldn't even need money, stupid.
You don't even need money. I can make a haunt right now.
Fucking do it then.
I got a warehouse.
I don't know. It takes you on a fucking ride. For those wondering, it is technically kind of just another haunt movie, another extreme haunt movie, where it's not anything out of the ordinary, except they do have some twists that are just oh, holy shit, this actually changes the movie for me.
And I don't want to supernatural element, a Hell House.
It can honestly be argued.
I like to argue.
I know.
Fuck yeah, he does.
Yeah. So I would say the vibe of this movie is a good Rob Zombie movie.
Rob Zombie.
A really good Rob Zombie movie.
So it's a good 31. If 31 was a decent movie.
It's 31, but way less quote unquote Rob Zombie. That was the air quotes.
Quotes make noises now.
He took us some nunchucks and put them away. It was crazy.
How did the quotes make noises?
So, they do. So, there was no excessive fuck it, pussy, fuck it, yeah, fuck you, fucking, it wasn't a Rob Zombie script. But it's shot like a Rob Zombie movie where everything looks fucking gritty, but also sharp, detailed, and the kills were almost superhuman. Mm. You know how Rob Zombie Michael Myers can just fucking squish people's faces with his hand.
Yeah, fucking Halloween is the most brutal Michael Myers. Who's ever
absolutely
ever.
It felt like that, but at the same time they didn't show too much, which is kind of to the benefit because it makes the movie go along faster. So what I also liked about it is that you have the main narrative, like I mentioned, where, you're trying to escape, but every room almost has a different horror movie vibe. You have some rooms that feel like you're in a torture movie for that 10-minute period. And then you have some that are you're in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then you have another room that's a creepy, supernatural, slow-moving killer.
Nice. So it kind of goes through every little subgenre of horror.
It really does, and it does it well. There's something in there for everybody, because it's almost the best way I can describe it, when you're going through a horror movie and, you're really rooting for the people. Like when you're like, come on, you got to do this. Like, it gets tense. And then there's something else that's introduced and you're like, come the fuck on. We don't have time for this. Like, I don't know. I just felt like I was there.
It's immersive.
It's the immersive. And
I'm kind of psyched to see it now.
Honestly,
I didn't think it was going to be good. I would like to see a good Rob Zombie movie.
It just takes the standard horror tropes, takes the standard horror setups, and weaves them into an escape story.
I'm still waiting for like the director's cut of 31.
Yeah.
Like that movie felt so rushed. Like they were just like, end it, fuck it, we're done.
There might
That's
not,
the difference.
There might not fucking be one because it's all like, was it crowdsourced? So he probably fucking shot and put everything that he had in there because it was probably low budget and fucking rushed.
Yeah.
That movie sucked.
Yeah, I did not like 31. Because when rush movies, you're just like, you can't connect with it,
Yeah, or Rush
Doesn't
Zombie.
seem real.
Rush Zombie.
Yeah, like Rush Zombie.
Rush Zombie.
Rush Zombie seems like a Rob Zombie themed Rush cover band. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about Haunt. I would highly recommend you give it a watch. I would say if you're a fan of The Strangers, the original Strangers, if you're a fan of Extremity, if you're a fan of Rob Zombie films, but they're maybe a little too much for you, I would say give this movie a shot. But there's really something in there for everybody. They do twist the extreme haunt stuff a little bit to where it's actually fresh and entertaining. Now, the only thing I will say about it, the one thing that I didn't really care for too much is mental illness. It's kind of like a main theme. And not so much that it's like extremely bad because every fucking horror movie does it. It's just that part of it is not that fresh anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin too much, but I think y'all see what I'm talking about.
Deviant hoodlums.
Yeah, like deviant, kind of like hoodlums. That's a little bit in there too, which I think is like.
Like if you listen to Hootie and the Blowfish, you're
Right.
like a deviant.
Right. So I'll give this movie a 7 out of 10.
Damn.
All right.
That's it. Now it's time for Eric's fucking movie.
No, I always go next. It's Elliott's turn.
Am I going next?
Yeah, you're going next. Bitch.
All right.
Oh shit, we're gonna switch it up.
Switch. He's still trying to find a movie to talk about. That's his thing.
Yeah, keep it going.
I really hope you're talking about the movie that we talked about.
All right. First off, I wanted to mention Marianne.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking love Gilligan's Island.
Oh, Ginger, what's up?
Let's talk about Marianne.
Talk about Marianne.
I always had a thing for Mrs. Howell.
It's on Netflix, a French web series that they put up on Netflix about a young woman who is a novelist that has like a fantasy series about this, protagonist battling like a witch, and then it reflects her childhood when she had like reoccurring nightmares of a witch in her hometown, and then hijinks start ensuing, and she's got to go back to this hometown and like battle her past and witchy witch stuff.
So the stories she wrote come to life, basically.
Kind of.
Just like she feeds the evil with her stories is what it seems like.
There's kind of a twist to it, but like it's basically that. Yeah. Like did you watch the whole thing?
I watched everything. It's an amazing show.
How many episodes is it? I'm on
8.
Episode 4.
I think it's 8.
So
you're
Yeah,
halfway
through.
It's like the best portrayal of like a witch that I've seen probably in about a decade, maybe 2.
It's probably my best portrayal of a witch I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I was legit being like, that's scary. Like, hats off. Like, all that shit, the paranormal shit that Blumhouse tries to do with, like, something creepy, like, that they fuck up. Like, this got right. This, like, all the creepy shit in here was amazing and creepy and scary and
like,
on point.
The tone for me, like, with this show is kind of like Evil Dead. Or Drag Me to Hell, I guess, is a better example.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little bit more serious. It's just I think it gives to the fact that it's European and it has a lot of levity to it. Because me and Eric were talking earlier about like the introduction to the inspector, and he's just like all thumbs, like a wacky guy, and a lot of fucking European movies have that where it's like dead serious, and then like the bumbling detective comes in, and
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So there's moments of comedy in there for sure, and then especially with like some weird choices, but like it's legit scary. And the imagery is probably the best I've seen.
Like, it's got jump scares in it, but it doesn't rely on jump scares. It's got like dread.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just disturbing imagery and subject matter. They even got like a little like low key flash imagery and stuff.
I think this touches on like Haunting a Hill House territory.
it does.
It blows
House,
Haunting
you
a Hill House out of the water.
Really?
Like Haunting of Hill House was, it was fucking super watered down and mediocre.
Wow.
And then like every fucking character would just be like, I'm gonna go on this fucking Shakespearean monologue that goes absolutely nowhere. I want to hear myself talk for 10 minutes straight.
That's basically
Damn.
our podcast. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, but a podcast is people dragging out talking. I want to see a fucking show about ghosts. Like,
No, that's true. That's
Haunting
true.
a Hill House was like 2 episodes too long. They just could have like chopped off a lot of people talking.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that. I did like Haunting of Hill House, so fuck you.
And it was like-
Marianne's better.
It's
absolutely
it's better. It's like cranked up a couple notches on crack cocaine.
Yeah, it's like that's pretty fucking true. One thing I don't like, and it has nothing to do with the show at all.
Is it in another language?
Yeah, the French.
No, I didn't. I watched it. This is my mistake. I watched it with dubs on.
Oh, you idiot.
I know. God, the dub is so. If you.
I tried, I think episode 2 because I was like trying not to pay too much attention to it.
Yeah.
Really, I was shopping online, so
That's
I
what I
was
thought.
like I wanted to listen to it.
And what's funny
Well,
is.
then you're gonna miss all the cool shit.
Well, no, what's funny is I bet when he was shopping online, when the crazy shit happened, you were just like, oh, fuck, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, I had the dubs were on because I just like put it on. It happened the dubs, but then we also have subtitles on anyway. So
You
I
have
was
to
like,
listen.
so I was listening and reading and like
You
they
have to.
They don't match.
They weren't matching.
No,
So
and it's because it's bad. The dub is bad. Like the subtitles are so spot on. Like it's a real translation.
Yeah.
The fucking dub is like, where the fuck did you get this?
yeah, the subtitles are better writing. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And
Even with the dub,
even with the dub, I really enjoyed it. And
like if you're a horror fan, you have to watch this fucking show. It really changes the game. Honestly, like this is the kind of witch shit I've wanted to see for so fucking long.
yes, it is.
Like
Yeah.
We
it's so
needed
good.
this.
It's
Like all the stuff, like all the big, like all the La Llorona, like stupid shit. This is what all that should have been. Like the Nun, La Llorona, like it all should have had like this stuff included in it, and it just took this miniseries
Yeah.
to do it right.
it's
So it's fucking good.
it's so good. It's just like I would recommend that more than most of the things that I've seen this year. To be honest with you.
Yeah, there was a few things that like don't make sense, but you don't care. I'll give it like a fucking at least like an 8 or 9 out of 10 for sure.
Easily for a show, yeah.
Easily.
Best witch,
Best Witch and the Best Witch award,
yeah, Marianne.
Marianne.
Marianne was
So
tight.
are you not doing a
Marianne's
research
tight.
topic this time?
I am. I was just wanted to.
You know,
I'm
like-
talking, motherfucker. Talking about Marianne.
know, it's
I'm gonna research Marianne. All right, so in 2019, Marianne was released on limited web release. I don't know.
I would like that.
What, deep dive into Marianne that just came out Friday the 13th. Actually, my deep dive is going to be in the spirit of, I guess, what we've been talking about already, and the release of Three from Hell is going to be House of a Thousand Corpses.
Really?
Yeah, kind of. I'm going to brush.
Kind
House of a Thousand Corpses is fucking awesome.
It's better.
It's better.
Like it took years for me to actually figure out like what the like groundwork of a plot was, like the fact that like there's this family and connection to Dr. Satan.
I still don't get that whole thing.
No, I don't
get
either.
that connection at all.
Like, okay, so here's the plot of the film, reversing.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Let's go over the entire. Let's go over the plot.
Let's go back to
Explain
the
this
plot.
motherfucker
I
to
assume
me,
most
'cause I've
and
seen it, like, 80
everybody
times.
that's listening should have seen this movie. But the plot is it's 1977, I believe. Two couples are on a road trip, making a
remember
book
that
about
year.
roadside attractions. And they come across Captain Spaulding's chicken stand that has oddities, and then it also has a murder ride, and it's this like low rent carnival style ride that has Albert Fish and Ed Gein and Lizzie Borden, and ends with Dr. Satan, who was like a crazy surgeon that was hung from a hanging tree near the location they're currently at. And so then they get a bug up their ass after going on the murder ride, and they're like, I want to go to that hanging tree. And then on the way to the hanging tree, they're intercepted by the Firefly family, taken to their house, and then hijinks kind of ensue there.
Their compound.
Compound hijinks.
Yeah, and very Texas Chainsaw Massacre, very like Hills Have Eyes, it's a lot of weird stuff. But I think what was pieced together was the original script. The grandfather Hugo was supposed to be Dr. Satan, and like this is like his little like family,
Which would make more sense.
but then that was scrapped for like Dr. Satan has, spoiler, an underground fucking house of
Laboratory.
1,000 corpses, like bunker lair where he's doing surgery and making like slave zombies. And I guess the Firefly family is Firefly, like a weird like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type people who kind of feed him victims or patients. It kind of has a lot. It's less of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff as it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre the Next Generation ripoff, where it doesn't make fucking sense and there's like layers of stuff. So like a little more on that like would have been like cool.
Yeah, I would have liked more Dr. Satan and less Firefly.
Yeah. Firefly. I mean, so let's go on a little backstory. So, as I have lightly read in the past,
Lightly read.
Lightly for Elliott.
Rob Zombie was in 1999. Rob Zombie was invited to Universal Studios for their Halloween Horror Nights to design a maze. Ended up, staying on the lot and talking to some of the executives at Universal and pitching them a movie that he was making up on the spot. Like he just
Are
like,
you serious?
Yeah, like he's like, I'd love to do a movie, and they're like, oh, like what would it be about? And then he just made it up on the spot. And then they're like, we're interested. And then he made just a rough draft script, turned it in. They wanted to go for it, and then they kind of like went into production in 2000. And if you notice in the movie, like I guess the Firefly house has been in a lot of movies and TV shows. Most famous for The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I think that was with Dolly Parton. You'd have to ask my mom.
Yeah.
Like the Leave It to Beaver house is in there, and the Munsters house is in there. It's all just like on the back lot.
Yeah.
It was part of the tour, the tram tour, when they were filming. They had a lot of interruptions by people like coming down on a trolley, like taking pictures of the house and shit.
Yeah.
So we filmed it. Universal like saw the final cut and it was like, this is an NC-17 and we will never release it. And they shelved it.
Whoa.
And then he eventually had to like buy the rights to it. And then in shopping around, eventually landed in the Lionsgate's distribution. And they gave it, after cutting it very heavily, a 2003 theatrical release, I fucking saw it when my senior year of high school. A long fucking time ago.
Yeah, you're like,
Old as balls.
63.
yeah.
63.
You look really old for 63, dude.
You
look shot out.
It's the red meat, the alcohol,
more
and the
water.
smoking. If it's not hard liquor, I'm not going to drink it.
I can accept that.
He bathes with whiskey.
And then, it kind of developed a cult following, which is kind of funny because this year, 2019, Halloween Horror Nights in Universal, they have a House of 1,000 Corpses haunted house that you walk through, even though they didn't want to release the movie.
Man.
They're all about that shit now. So
It's different times, my friend.
I know. Fuck. Rob Zombie was talking about how he shot an ending that sucked, and Universal actually kicked in money for him to shoot like a bigger, better ending. And I'm like, okay, so where's that? And apparently that's the one that's in the movie. And I'm like, that still doesn't make sense. He's like, oh, you got to redo the ending. And then he does it. And I'm like, that's what you did.
Yeah. Can we see the other one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go back to the first one. Maybe
Like-
fix it in post.
Yeah. And Sid Haig is probably like the best actor in House of
probably.
1,000 Corpses. And Captain Spaulding transcended that movie. People know who he is and they don't know who the movie is. So
That's true.
props to his ass.
Yeah, that's very true.
But according to all the stuff online, House of 1,000 Corpses is his lowest rated movie,
It's true. Yeah.
even below Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's his lowest.
Why? To me, that's his second best movie.
How long has it been since y'all have watched it?
I watched
Like a year?
it this week.
I watched it maybe a year or two ago, and I didn't realize it was so campy.
Yeah.
When
Very
I was
campy.
younger, I was like, "This movie's fucking scary as shit," and then watched it, and I was just like, "Oh, this is real campy." I liked it.
It's just kind of, for me, it was an acquired taste. I saw it in theaters, but then I kept watching and I found things to like about it, but then there's still things that bug the fuck out of me.
I think the whole ripping off Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of bugged a lot of people.
Yeah, well, he did a whole kitchen sink approach to the movie. And I was like, this would maybe be if somebody gave me a fucking backlot at Universal and then gave me some money, this might be the movie that I make. and it seems very like quintessential of Rob Zombie with his like his Manson worship, his horror movie knowledge, his like old school horror movie knowledge, and like psychedelic like white zombie shit. Like it made sense. It makes sense. And there's like so much that's cut out of the film, and then there's pieces that he cut out that are still left in the film to make it even like more crazy. So I'm like, you know, that it makes sense for Rob Zombie, but then I'm also like, that'd probably be my first attempt for a movie if I was talented in making movies. That'd probably what mine would be. I'd rip off Texas Chainsaw Massacre, drop of a hat, like.
Yeah,
so
true.
I can't hate on it too bad.
Which is strange because it's you, but
Yeah, I can't really fault him anything for it because it's his first movie, and it's not that bad. It's probably his best movie, even though the internet says it's his worst.
just like every first album's always the best album.
It is. You know why? Because they had fucking years and years and years to like put their best shit out, and then their second album, they're like, we gotta throw something together in 6 months. I don't know. I might like Halloween as the best Rob Zombie movie for me, but House of a Thousand Corpses is definitely better than every fucking thing else he did.
I agree.
Also, since it was chopped around so much, I think there's a recent interview, Rob Zombie was talking about how everybody's dying for like a director's cut of House of a Thousand Corpses, which has been, I think, talked about for like a decade now, which I was kind of wanting because there's a lot of weird shit in that movie that doesn't really belong.
Yeah.
Like there's a subplot of like some kind of like Sasquatch creature on the loose. Just like a lot of like just weird things thrown in there. But he said it's impossible. He said it was chopped around so much that all the footage that was cut out or he wanted to put in is lost. Is
I could
gone.
definitely see that.
That's just build up.
Honestly, I could see that.
It's been a fucking decade, and he's like, it's probably never gonna happen. And he's like, he has some like home videos that has like interviews with like the cast and like making that would be like a special feature. But he said as far as like all the shit that he cut out, it's just gone, and like it's not worth it to him to go and find it. He'd have to dig through like Universal and Lionsgate.
He's like,
all that
nah,
shit.
don't feel like it.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like it because he's Rob Zombie. This movie's just like his childhood, like jizzed on a fucking movie. Like, and then all the characters, including the Firefly family, they're all like Groucho Marx characters. So like, this whole movie is like a ripoff and a ripoff.
Marx Brothers.
All of them. Like everybody has the fucking. Their names aren't even real. Even Captain Spaulding. It's not. He didn't make that up.
What kind of name is that?
This movie's just like. This guy's just like taking all the things that he loves and makes them into terrible movies.
That's why we like him.
Yeah. He's very much like in it for the fans, but like his fans in particular.
Yeah.
He's
not out to get new fans.
Yeah, he's not.
He just keeps the current ones happy.
31.
Very
like,
true.
The Devil's Rejects didn't really appeal to horror fans.
Yeah.
And I think that might have the semi big budget of that, and like being more mainstream got a lot of like new fans, but then those aren't the fans you want. Those aren't the,
Not my fans.
I don't know anybody that saw 31 and was all like perfect. I'm glad I, crowdsourced all that money to you.
Kenzie's dad really liked it, but just probably because it was fun.
Yeah, I like the way that they talk like no one in real life talks. Like I love that one. That's what. I like to have a hillbilly accent and then talk real fast and say a bunch of swears and racial slurs.
Yeah, pretty much.
End it with a 70s pop jargon that is not in use anymore.
Yeah.
Pop goes Weasel, know what I'm saying?
Then House of a Thousand Corpses. I mean, it is what it is. Like I don't know.
It's a movie. It happened.
I've grown to like it over the years. And
It's always going to be a cult classic now.
yeah, it is kind of the best shit he's done. It's all his influences that I agree with, like kind of like splattered on celluloid. So it's an entertaining watch. There's a lot of like loose ends and a lot of like what the fuck, why is that even there? It is.
Yeah.
They're doing their own fucked up shit, but then they're also like serving leftovers to a Dr. Satan that lives in the ground that should be dead and super fucking old.
20 years from now, like everybody's going to forget about House of a Thousand Corpses except for like the cult horror people. And it's going to be like one of those like really like cheesy campy movies that people are like, oh, you haven't seen that? Oh,
Dude, you never saw that?
You never saw that? It's fucking sick. Like, and I like the professor at the end, the big dude with the goggles and like the wheezing with the axe. Like that's what I expected. That's like straight out of like a Rob Zombie like concert show. Like that's what I expected to see. Like I like that. I like all the aspects of it. It's just the ending was kind of
Not good.
not good and weird, and then they still had pieces of the Sasquatch thing going in there. They had like weird, like negatives and but I remember the slow motion scene when they open the barn door and they start playing the music and like
Not my dad.
and like I remember in the theaters when there was that long pause where like Otis had the gun to the cop's head and like he wasn't pulling the trigger and like it was just super quiet in the theater, and then like someone would like nervous giggle, and then like it still didn't happen, and then it still didn't happen. Then everybody's like, "Oh shit!" And then there's like even like what? And then blam, and like oh,
I knew it was gonna happen.
I knew,
I
popped
knew it.
off, literally popped off. So I mean, it's got flashes of like brilliance that he should have capitalized on in other movies, but then he just like left them. So. It's a mixed bag, but it's fun. I like watching it during Halloween because yet again another fucking. I think all his movies except Double Reject are on Halloween. It takes place on Halloween.
Yeah, 31 does.
31 does.
Lords of Salem, I can't remember.
I think it might. I watched it too long ago and hated it too much that I erased it from my
Oh,
brain.
you don't like it?
Like he should stop right. People should give him scripts and then he should be like, I'm gonna change this character like this, and then like make a movie. He doesn't need to write a whole fucking script front to back. He's a good director. He's burnt out on writing.
I figured you would like Lords of Salem because it's like
Sherry, he's the Sherry Moon zombie acting he was thinking about in Lords of Salem.
We're gonna get fucked up and do some fucked up things.
See that, and like he put her in every fucking movie, and she only works in House of a Thousand Corpses as the annoying baby.
Yeah.
Like that's where the only reason she works. Like it's her best film.
I don't know. Like I did like her in Lords of Salem because she was like that. Like I don't know, very reclusive, very quiet. Like
She
type of
acted
chick.
well in that movie.
I think so, but whatever. It's Elliott's bag of dicks on this segment. So
I don't like her acting choice.
damn, I don't like.
hate her.
So yeah, there's a stupid history of House of a Thousand Corpses that nobody cares about. Because what gave me the idea was like a lot of people like the reviews of the Three from Hell after it came out. People were all like, he's chasing House of a Thousand Corpses. Like still, he's like beating the fucking dead horse.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking Firefly family from House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, which was I guess a lot of people's favorite out of it.
It's
Which I
like
don't-
such an unneeded movie, but it was just like that was a for the fans movie.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
is
it's
this
so
one.
liked.
So is
yeah.
It was
Those Three from
it
Hell.
was I hated Devil's Rejects so bad. Like I just remember watching it and being like, this is like you're taking all the things that I love and making a movie that is not for me.
I mean, it was just a movie for one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I didn't like that it was like also like a chase movie. Like it was like
Yeah.
a serial killer. Like yeah,
He took
they hide out in Mexico or shit.
his favorite parts
Oh.
from House of a Thousand Corpses and then tried to make Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
And for me, it fell flat. And then he killed them at the end. Spoiler, because I don't give a fuck. They die at the end. But then in Three from Hell, they don't die. They're just gunned down in a Bonnie and Clyde situation, and they all live through it because Rob Zombie's like, nah, fuck that.
Whatever happened to Dr. Satan is my thing.
Apparently, he's never going to come back.
There is a cut scene in The Devil's Rejects where when they raid the house, they get Dr. Satan, and there's a scene where he's in the hospital and he like bites a nurse's face off.
Whoa.
And so that
Was my
is
problem
cut out.
with The Devil's Rejects is the whole first movie was about Dr. Satan,
Yeah.
and then it was like now it's the family, but the family was like
Not the
worshiping or working for Dr. Satan.
Yeah, like that was the good part,
Yeah.
and then like they just made a movie without.
The
like,
Devil's Rejects, like I remember watching it, and then like they just start like excluding characters from the movie till they get to what Rob Zombie wants, his money makers and his wife. He took literally the most popular people, and then like I'm just gonna make Three from Hell. He's like, they're not dead. They're gonna do it again.
You're just so badass it can't be killed by bullets.
Yeah, so none of us have seen Three from Hell, so I'm not even gonna like go into that. But I'm all about Three from Hell right now, which is a ripoff from fucking is a Misfits EP, I believe. But I don't know,
Just like it, sorta.
sorta.
It's just like it.
Just like it's sort of, but completely different. I know what I like and I don't like this. House of a Thousand Corpses. You remember it? Go watch it. You want to know what happened with it? I just told you. Next.
Segment's over, bitches.
Segment's over. Eric's turn to talk. Out of sequence.
God.
He's like, I'm going to talk about Haunt of 2013 that sucked.
Alrighty,
I don't
Eric.
feel like talking.
I don't think you've prepared anything. That's why. I think I should just I should just go on to like Devil's Rejects and why it's
Continue.
horrible.
Just continue. Okay, so I will talk about a movie.
He said while sweating.
Dude, he's literally perspiring.
I'm going to talk about Tigers Are Not Afraid.
In Espanol?
En Español.
What does that mean?
I'm going to do this review in Spanish.
Whoa!
That's going to alienate like so much of her.
That's going to alienate like maybe at least 50% of our...
Maybe not. I think three
Like,
out of the 4 people that listen, like 2 are not going to get this. All right.
So
Tigers I'd watch it.
Okay, so the movie I'm going to talk about is the 2017 Mexican fantasy horror movie, Tigers Are Not Afraid. That was just recently released for streaming on Shudder. So this movie takes place in Mexico. I don't remember if it specifically says what area, but obviously, if you've been paying attention to the news, very narco heavy.
Yeah.
So this movie takes place in Mexico, and it's centered around kids. The whole plot are these kids who are now orphaned by the drug trafficking war, whose parents have been killed by the narco traffickers. And it starts off following a young girl who's in school, and while she's in class, gunfire starts, going off in the distance, and everybody hits the floor, and they were in the middle of making their own fairy tale. So the teacher, to calm the girl down, she gives her 3 small pieces of chalk and tells her, these are wishes.
Yeah.
Hold on to them. These are wishes, and use them when you need them.
Because you lie to kids. That's what you do.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
to calm
right.
them down, pretty much. So when this is all over, when that situation's over, she goes home and her mother's not there.
Yeah.
So not to give too much away, she, obviously her mom's not coming back, and she is now orphaned. So she kind of gets together with these other orphan kids, and they're trying to, number one, survive their situation, and the brutality are going on around them with the drug war, and kind of trying to get revenge for their parents. There's also a whole fantasy supernatural thing going on with the wishes. Basically, you wish for something and it doesn't come out exactly the way you
Like a monkey paws type situation.
It's literally like the monkey paw.
Exactly. And there's this little backstory. Basically, they tell the story of this really wealthy guy who had a lot of panthers and jaguars and all these exotic animals. And the narcos came and killed him and killed off his animals. And when they went to go kill the tiger, he had already escaped. So the tiger's now running around the city. They say, it didn't really matter to the tiger because tigers are not afraid.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what boosts them, like their self-esteem and their morale is, we're tigers, we're not afraid even if our world is falling apart around us. It's very Guillermo del Toro-esque with the fantasy. Just the undertone and just the dread and just like the brutality of the Mexican drug war going on in the background, and at some points it's in your face. It's very fucking good.
So, I saw this movie too.
Okay.
And I gotta agree with you. Definitely agree on the Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Straight up, could have been.
Yeah.
You could have told me it was written by Guillermo del Toro, and I would have believed it.
Yeah, it was just the only thing that let me know it wasn't him. It was more brutal than fantasy, which he tends to go the opposite, where he brings down the brutality with the fantasy. This one was kind of the opposite.
This movie seemed like visually like foreign grittiness, like foreign film grittiness, and then like the vibe, like you felt like it was a fantasy movie. I felt like I was watching like a retelling of like The Lion King with like a lot of other shit going on.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about the cartel, because it's like the main point, the main like antagonist is the cartel. It's not the supernatural element, That's really interesting for a horror movie. Like the horror is not
something supernatural, imaginary. It's a real world.
Well, it isn't. It isn't. Like,
maybe that's a commentary of the scariest stuff is real and right out your front door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of the deal. It was almost like, honestly, the movie could have been just straight up a metaphor,
Yeah.
like entirely for like, you know, courage or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Those fucking kids acted the shit out of that movie.
Oh, those kids were so,
They were so good.
and they were so cute too.
And they were.
Like, god damn.
Like, they drew you in. And just the accuracy of the way they talked and acted in... I mean, obviously, I got it a little more because I speak Spanish.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking real. Like,
Subtitles were garbage.
I feel like I could know these kids. Like,
yeah.
You know, like I could go, you know, to a city in Mexico and run into these actual kids.
Man, that main kid, that kid had such a fucking personality.
Yeah, I mean, for him to be a little kid and kind of had to take the stage, and he had to be the protector for these other little kids.
It almost reminded me of Hook. Like, he reminded me of Rufio.
Kind of, yeah, I could see that.
Like, these kids, like, all have their little personalities. They're all having fun in their own little ways. That fucking umbrella scene, man. Like that, you know, when the kids like
Singing in
dance
the
with that
rain?
fucking umbrella.
Yeah.
That scene was like, to me, I was like, shit, I'm watching a fucking Disney movie, but it's fucking just savage.
So if you like Peter Pan and Slumdog Millionaire, this is you all over.
I mean, the best part about that movie is they're living this nightmare, but they're still kids, and they still show that part. And they still, you know, display that they have this, you know, kid's imagination. Yeah. And, you know, even though they're literally running for their lives, they can still stop and continue to be kids.
Right. It's just overall, it's such a unique movie too. Not only because it's in like stuff that doesn't get covered a lot. Because really, unless you watch like fucking Narcos or fucking
Sicario.
Yeah, Sicario. Like, unless you watch those kind of movies, it's not something that's usually covered. You know, the Mexican cartels and stuff like that and all that stuff. That part's really awesome to cover, but also the way they do the supernatural aspects in this movie, it's like really fucking creepy. Yeah. And I've never seen anything like it, like exactly like it. Man, I don't know. I really like this movie. Like, this is probably one of my favorite movies this year, straight up.
Yeah. I really like how they tried to throw in the cultishness of the cartel.
Yeah.
Because that's very accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they're like, oh, what happened to the people that they take? They're like, oh, I heard they do, you know, rituals and, you know, black magic rituals all this stuff. And
it's all about like, folklore. This whole movie's just caked in folklore. Like how they made the fucking folklore about tigers in general.
Yeah.
Dude.
You need to watch it.
It's honestly just like...
And I will.
It's honestly, like, this is the type of movie that you would show people who aren't horror fans, that are, like, film fans.
Yeah.
To show that, like, horror can be, like fantastic.
I give this movie an 8 out of 10. That movie was very fucking good.
I honestly give it a 7.5. It's just an overall good movie. Like, you don't have to like horror to like this movie. It definitely helps because there's some scenes in here that are fucking nightmare fuel. Yeah. But you're going to feel some shit with this movie. This movie, like, tugs at your fucking heartstrings.
Yeah, definitely.
This movie fucks with you.
That's what, like, makes Mexico so crazy is, like, the brujeria mixed in with, like, the fucking drug violence. It's like...
It's kind of...
like, you guys are fucking crazy!
Like, it's kind of like that, to be honest.
Did you ever see that movie Borderland? Is it Borderland or Borderlands?
No, Borderland. It's on Prime. I kept hearing about it maybe 10 years ago. Somebody was telling me, like, it just came out in, like, 08 or 09 or something like that. I never watched it.
It's based on a true story. It was, like, this cult kind of narco leader. But basically these 3 American tourists, you know, they're going down there to party and they get taken by this drug cartel who are going to sacrifice them to basically to feed the demon or whatever to protect them in their drug deals and drug trafficking. So that's their offering.
Yeah.
And it's very cultish, and I really like that movie too.
I need to watch that. I think I want to put it on my list.
It's got one of the kids from Boy Meets World.
No shit.
I think so, unless I'm thinking
sold,
about
dude.
Tooth and Nail.
Fucking sold.
Because I remember I watched all those together.
Is that kid that plays Sean?
Ryder Strong, baby.
If I see him in a movie, I'd run another way.
Honestly, yeah. But I love Boy Meets World.
Yeah, Ryder Strong. Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Quality.
Fuck that kid.
Fuck you, dude.
Oh, fuck you.
I just say give this movie a shot. Definitely. It's on Shudder. If you have Shudder, there's no reason you shouldn't be watching this movie. For fans of Guillermo del Toro, for fans of horror fairy tales. Also, it gave me a lot of Under the Shadow vibes, because it's kind of like that.
I saw that movie. It wasn't that good.
Just because I don't have your fucking
I'm not gonna lie, I hated
your
that movie,
gutter.
but the vibe of it,
your gutter
I
app.
could see that.
like, because it's an
The
abandoned city.
supernatural aspect, and there's a real situation going on in the background.
Yeah. Well, it's like war. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like the same setup almost. I don't know, anyway, but yeah, I didn't really like Under the Shadow.
That's all I got.
It's got great reviews, but I fucking don't get it. Well, you know what movie I also don't get is A Girl Walks Alone at Night.
I never bothered watching that.
I watched that.
So like I liked it,
I
but
don't like vampire movies. It's a vampire movie, right?
yeah, it's a vampire movie.
I don't like vampire movies.
I liked it, but like, come on, it's like a rom-com.
It's
Is that what it is?
It's like a fucking
it was-
horror rom-com.
I was bored with it.
It was pretty boring.
It was just like, why does this exist?
I enjoyed it. But it was just like there was no point to it.
It talks so highly of it, but
That's what they do. The same thing with Under the Shadow. It's always like movies on Netflix that you should be watching.
That's it. It was good. Like, there's nothing like really wrong with it. It's just like I immediately forgot it.
Yeah, I did too. So what else you got, Eric? Anything else?
no, that's it. I was going to talk about Marianne, but he stole my thunder, so fuck him.
Damn, Thunder Stealer.
That was a group discussion. You can put it.
The main discussion
Main topics.
talking about it comes after the first one.
Which is chapter 1.
All right, so we're talking about It, Chapter 2.
Yep.
It's the second half of It, Chapter 1, which came out a couple of years ago.
2017.
In which, in this town of Derry, Maine, children are
my rap name,
disappearing, and
Derry,
a group
Maine.
of kids go to get some hijinks on and investigate. And they found out that an evil clown is killing these children. And so they join forces to like bust him. And then they think they defeat him. And then cut to It Chapter 2, 27 years later, because the clown feeds every 27 years. And these children and this group of kids that we were led to come to love and enjoy from the first one are now adults, grown up in their everyday lives. And it has returned and is slaughtering children, and they join forces yet again to do battle with it, the evil killer clown that lives in your sewer. Ladies and gentlemen, the discussion.
I feel like this is going to be a very divisive discussion because I think I already know where y'all are going.
Where?
Where are we going?
I thought y'all are going to the camp of like it was a poop film.
No, I liked it. It was
Just
too
say I liked
fucking
it.
long, but I liked it.
There's no reason for it to be that long. Like
Really
legit.
not.
There was I was sitting there making notes in my head of like, well, if you didn't stay on that shot for 13 minutes and just cut, we could have saved 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was
There was
very well
so much
done,
you could have
but a little dragged out.
Yeah, he dragged it out on purpose like a dick. I'm gonna go into what I think about this shit fest.
Fucking do it then.
It was, I think, the hype got to him because I like It Chapter 1 a lot. That was maybe one of my favorite films that came out that year, and it was good. The kids were amazing. Obviously, you know, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise was legit and was fucking creepy and fucking there's a lot of cool shit going in there. And then I think they're like, well, here comes the second one. And then even before, I think a lot of people were putting their 2 cents in. I think a lot of studio was like, okay, you know, we let you do it, but now like it's like it made the most money ever. So now we're gonna like control this really hard. And then it was very lackluster. They just rehashed all this shit from the first one and put in all these things that could have been cut.
So
Yeah.
it was still the same story. So
Yeah, and I already saw it, and they just did it worse. It's like rehashed, watered down. Like the opening
In what
scene, I didn't even know where I was in the
way?
fucking movie. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, the first scene, like honestly, straight up just did not belong in the movie.
It was a different movie.
with the gay couple,
Yeah, dude, like
Like you
you're
walking into like a hate crime, basically,
yeah.
but then it's
like,
pointless.
man.
The whole time, the guy that survived, I thought he was gonna be one of the losers because they talk about, oh, he just came back to Derry and this and that.
Yeah, like
That would have been a lot better.
Maybe
in my
that was the
opinion.
point, is like a bait and switch, but it's still
Yeah.
no, it's
it
still
fell
not.
flat.
Like it was just like a very violent. Like if here's the thing, it was in the book. That whole scene was in the book, which I guess they wanted to put it front and center to make it like real, like gruesome. Which, I mean, like...
It mimics what happened kind of with the whole arcade scene when the one guy was a kid.
Well, spoiler alerts. We gotta...
Whoa,
Richard.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, I guess it does. So that's the only thing I can think of why they put that scene in there, to show, like, how bad it was for gay people back in, like, those areas.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, a small town. You know how small towns are, like...
I don't think it's necessary because they got the fucking big bully dude doing
I don't think it is
the
either.
bully, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like, that's a one big gripe I have about it.
If it's in, like, there's a lot of shit in the book that they didn't even put in a movie.
Yeah,
like, that
there's
wasn't
fucking...
that would have been way better.
The whole running a train scene
Yeah.
that
I
was
never
in
read
the book.
I never read the book.
Oh, well, I didn't either, but...
Yeah, there's unnecessary things in it. But, like, I didn't think the opening scene was necessary. The stuff with the kids I liked. It was weird because they're computer generated.
Yeah. I didn't notice until, like, I read about it afterwards. Like,
Yeah,
I really...
like-
So during the movie, I didn't know.
Like, they de-aged the kids, which... It was cool and very necessary, and definitely, like, puts you back in the movie as opposed to, like, seeing these, like, teenager lanky kids that were supposed to be, you know. So it kind of, like, squashed the suspension of disbelief. But they kept put them in, like, scary it situations that would have happened during the first movie. And then I'm just sitting there like, you know, why wasn't that in the first movie? And then why didn't, and why is Pennywise not getting these kids? Like, all these opportunities where he's like, you could just kill this kid, and then, like, you know, you don't have a problem with these kids anymore. And it's just like flashback after flashback of them, like, slipping through his fingers on purpose because he's fucking with them. And then the kid bites him in the ass eventually.
So that's your issue with it?
My
most
issues is there are a lot of nonsensical stuff.
Like what?
And like what I just said, and then the opening scene being unnecessary, and then the fact that it's, you know, you didn't need it. It didn't need to be that long of a movie. You could have cut so much fucking shit. Stephen King didn't need to be in this fucking movie at all. Like, he's like, oh, there's my bike in the window. And then you go buy your fucking bike and fucking cut to you riding it. You didn't need Stephen King to, like, fucking toss his dick around. Like,
Is the whole, like, little running joke about the writer not being able to finish writing good stories, like having good endings?
Yeah.
Is that, like,
yeah, Bill grows up to be
swipe at
an author
Stephen
who...
King, because all his endings suck?
Probably, yeah.
But would Stephen King, like, lend himself to be thrown under that thing of, like, oh, all my books suck? Cool, yeah, I'm going to say that in a movie.
You know, your endings suck.
And then, if we're just going full spoiler, my other gripe would be,
Are
like...
we?
I am.
You are.
Pennywise is, like, the easiest movie monster to kill in the entire fucking world. He got his ass, like, punked by a bunch of kids in chapter 1, and then they just fucking straight up kill him by, like, you know, not clapping to bring Pink Tinkerbell back to life. Like, it's bullshit. What I liked about this film, this is kind of weird because immediately after chapter 1, both the actors in the film and the internet chimed in on, like, their dream casting for the adult versions of these, like, kids.
Yeah.
And they pretty much fucking got it.
Yeah, they pretty much...
Like, everybody got it. And, like, so that's cool. You know, that's kind of like a win for the nerds in the world. And Bill Hader is amazing in this movie.
Oh,
Bill
he was
Hader's
fantastic.
Steals the fucking show.
He's the fucking best in this movie.
He
Like, he's
was
amazing.
totally the bee's knees in this.
Yeah. I also enjoyed, I mean, it's cool seeing, like, Pennywise, like, do shit again, but, like, it's like nobody cared. Like, you got that fucking, like, mouth thing where your mouth, like, chomps on shit. Like, I didn't give a fuck about Pennywise. What I fucking liked and what I thought there should have been more of was that fucking Hockstetter kid, the zombie, his friend that used to have the lighter.
Yeah.
Driving, like...
I don't want to spoil too much, but, like...
We spoiled everything. If you're listening to this, so, like, the adult, it's revealed that a Bowers, if it's spoilers, dude, fuck it. If you don't know by now, fuck you.
Cool.
Like his attitude.
He's driving him, like, dead Hockstetter is, like, driving Bowers around to, like, all these locations and stuff. And he's a zombie, and I love that. And I wanted so much more. They only had him in, like, a couple scenes barely.
Yeah.
I could say that was a little gem in there.
I bet they're both in the director's cut more.
There needs to be, like, more, like, Bowers should have done, I think, a little bit more, but he's in there enough to do what his job is. But, like,
I think he should have
zombie
been there.
Hockstetter, like, driving a fucking muscle car should have been way more. That was the best part of the movie. That overshadowed. I love that more than Pennywise in this movie. More Hockstetter. That's what I needed. It's fucking. I wanted a zombie teenager in a fucking muscle car.
I love the scene where he's waiting for him, and he's kind of got his head out the window, and he's just, like, bored waiting. And then he hops in, and he's like, pfft, let's go.
Yeah, he's like, go.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, like
And he's like, Hofstetter!
yeah, like it was like fucking Bowers didn't even care.
No, he was just like, Hofstetter! Hey!
Like, yeah.
What's up, bro?
Fuck.
He should have been, yeah, just more scenes of him driving.
I disagree, but, you know.
Fuck you, no one cares what you think. This is the Elliott show.
I didn't get the old lady scene. She's supposed to be his daughter or something. Like I didn't like that.
There's supposed to be some kind of like weird backstory that could possibly like tie into that, but for the most part, like in this movie, it's just kind of like a made-up story that Pennywise used to just fuck with.
Yeah, I think he was fucking with. There was the scene, and I was also really let down because I was waiting for it. After chapter 1 came out, they were talking about there was a cut scene that was too brutal to be put in the finished picture of where like Pennywise is existing, and you can see there's a piece of art in the library in chapter 1 of this lady with a baby next to a well, and it's in the book that like before he's Pennywise, he's he's there, and like this lady is like feeding her baby to him via the well as like a sacrifice type thing. And they filmed it. They filmed like he wasn't Pennywise yet. He was just like this man. You know, this lady like feeds him the baby, but like, it's it killing a baby, so they cut it out. But then there's like rumors it's gonna be in the sequel, and I was like, please fucking do this, because if I love anything more in a horror movie is fucking kids dying, and
Right?
Yeah.
so I was like, please put it in. They never did, and they shied away from it. And then they had this like weird backstory. What is it, like temporary reality that he put Bev in about him being like a circus owner, but that also lends to the fact that, you know, there's still that in chapter 1 in his little lair he was doing that fucking crazy dance in the carnival wagon or whatever the fuck he had, and then which they show again in this one. So I wanted to see that scene so bad, but they didn't put it in, and now there's talks of a prequel.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want a Pennywise origin story.
Yeah.
I do want that. I would like to see like non-book,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I think that could go either way. I think
Yeah, that's true.
Because like Stephen King didn't write that, so someone else is gonna give that the whole treatment, and that could be better or worse. Or Stephen King does get his hands on it. I still don't trust that because it's Stephen fucking King, and he can't fucking write his way out of a paper bag.
What?
Shots fired.
Wow, you got some opinions.
I do.
Yeah.
It had big problems, but it's
Yeah, you do.
also about what I expected to see. Man, give me like an after credit scene where like it's not dead, so I can just like feel good about myself.
I mean, I'm sure it's not dead.
You'll be back in 27 years.
Yeah, bro. Probably.
Fucking in
Yeah, but
space.
Nobody's gonna care.
So Eric,
Let's make space it.
huh?
Let's
Sissy
make space
Spacek?
It.
No, space it.
Sissy Spacek was
Space.
barely in this movie, man.
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about the band.
Yeah.
SpaceX?
Yeah, let's get Tesla involved.
God damn it. What are you trying to say? Say it, boy.
Pennywise in space.
Oh, hell.
27 years from now, we'll all be living in the moon.
Inside of the moon, right?
Yeah.
Hollow moon.
Obviously.
What did you like about it? Chapter
Living
2.
inside the moon.
Son of a bitch. What did you like about the movie?
The number one thing I want to say about this movie that I really liked, there was a lot of nightmare-inducing scenes in there that I could see lots of children, preteens watching this movie.
Scarring the shit.
Yes. Giving them the same kind of nightmares that we had from, like, the bus scene on Nightmare on Elm
God
Street.
damn, yeah.
Stuff like that. And that made me really appreciate the movie.
Yeah.
I like that. Kudos to the...
Movie.
A little bit more story about Mike. I mean, him staying in there.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, they just were like, I've done research since
Yeah.
you've been away.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
well,
He did
what
like
else did you
dirty
do?
in both movies, dude.
Yeah.
Like
He had the most interesting things to say.
Yeah.
Out of the whole group, he
That's-
would have been the most interesting to focus
oh
on.
man, can we talk about the whole Native American ritual aspect of it?
I hated it.
I did not like
the
that.
whole like we're tripping flashback, and then
Like,
like you're gonna dose somebody with drugs, and then they automatically know what you know. That's not how anything
There's
works.
actually something to tap into.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's going to get the same thing. Because that's the only way he could tap into it.
I just don't like that aspect of it.
I thought that was like an actual Stephen King world aspect.
I think it is.
They could have done it like way better, like because I mean.
They did. That was honestly, that was the worst part of the movie for me.
And then the
I didn't like
flashbacks
that.
of like it had like the weird like black sludge stuff flashbacks of like what the Native Americans were doing, and like it turning like it's a fucking Avengers end credit sequence. Like that pissed me off. I don't like that.
I liked how they tied it all together. It was much better than the original.
It doesn't take much to beat the 1990 like fucking made for TV. Like I hate that film. I hate it. I think that's a waste of a Tim Curry.
Damn.
Like, I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Well, the one thing, what I liked about this movie
Holy
is
shit.
that it gave us a glimpse into the terror each one had to go through. So all the little flashbacks of when they were kids and being singled out outside of the circle and it going directly towards each one.
True.
Which kind of, mimicked
that.
the original TV movie more. Ashley, when we went to go see it, she actually had a problem with the fact that the flashbacks were the kids being singled out, and then you go back to their adults and it's them being singled out to like go find their journey, and then them being singled out again to be in their own like personal hell. Like, she just thought it was like they were way too singled out like all the fucking time.
Well, that's how, like, I mean, that's just how it was in the book and all that.
Yeah.
I like that they singled them out because, there's the Losers Club
That's what
and
people
it's
wanna
going
see.
after them as a whole. But I like that it went after them individually so that each one can add their own reason to want to kill him or to want it to end it.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie, they had to gather to, be able to conquer it because that was the whole thing. They needed to be able to come together. It gave you the reason for each one to not want to be there.
Except for Mike, because we don't know anything about him.
Yeah, like, I still...
Bingo.
I'm very disappointed.
I think
because we
that's
don't
just
fucking know
good
shit about Mike.
old-fashioned cinema racism.
No, honestly, that's Stephen King's writing, straight up, because, like,
Racist?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, yeah, kind of.
He was his generation's Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
He's
pretty
like, inward
Yeah, like,
here,
was there a
inward
reason
here,
why
inward
his
here.
family had to be crackheads?
Oh, they weren't actually.
They weren't actually, but that's what they were saying.
Like, which,
because the town's racist and
Yeah.
homophobic.
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
In the 90s, yeah, it was a little more put together.
Nah, dude.
He wasn't
He
living.
was.
No, he was
wasn't,
exactly
like,
the same, dude.
No, he had like a fucking trench coat. He wasn't all like hermited away in a fucking library attic.
He was a fucking, yeah, he was a librarian. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Yeah,
what
but
he-
he had like the Bill Cosby sweater.
Yeah, he was like
He
more
was
put
like-
Did this
together.
guy not have the bill?
No, Mike in this movie smelled. You can smell Mike.
You could smell Mike.
It's like, why are you always sweating, Mike? He's like, oh,
I live in an attic.
I live in a fucking attic.
Y'all are fucking nuts.
Y'all nuts.
Anyway,
Stephen King's is nuts.
so I'll have to agree with Eric. Like, I went in this movie thinking that I wouldn't like it that much. Like, I had high hopes, but I was just like, set your expectations low. I sat through the whole movie and I was like, fucking like entertained the entire time. Like, I know it was 3 hours. I could have definitely been less, but like, I'm glad I got as much content of it as I did because like, it reeled me into that world.
Also, the romantic aspect. I didn't want that.
I didn't want it.
You
I
had
didn't
to
need
have it
so
there.
fucking much of it.
It's
I
in the
didn't need
first
so
one.
much of it though.
There is not compared to the first one.
There's so much. The whole fucking time you're like, oh, is she gonna remember that it wasn't Bill and it was the fact
That
kid?
was in the fucking
Like,
book.
oh my god! Like it just dragged on.
That was in the fucking book.
It's
So
also
like,
in
what are you gonna
chapter
do?
1. It was all over.
That was exactly like that. That's just
No,
poor
I don't
writing.
fucking
Like that's
care.
just poor writing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like it didn't really take me out of it. I really, really enjoy all the scenes with the kids, with all the shit that we didn't see in it. Chapter 1. If they would have added those scenes in there, like it would have made it chapter 1 like just such a fucking solid, cohesive fucking movie for me. Like, I understand they filmed them later, but if they would have had those scenes and filmed them at that time, it would have made it one like so fucking phenomenal. And what I didn't really like that much is that they relied heavily on that. They could have gone completely different because they did in the first one where they separated the young scenes and then they didn't put any like older future, what do they call it? Future flashback, future back, future forward. They didn't have any future forwards or
forward.
anything like that. But in this movie, they just took the exact like template of the It TV series and then just like kind of took here's the the future and then here's the flashback.
Yeah.
Here's the future. Here's the flashback. They could have taken all of the really good scenes that they had in It Chapter 2 from when they were younger, put them in the first one, made such beautiful movie, and then
Well, they didn't exist at that point.
but they had them written.
I don't think so.
I do. I think so.
I don't think they expected to have what they had.
Well.
I don't think they expected to be so big.
But I think that it would have been a better film if they didn't do as many flashbacks. But I did like those scenes though, so I'm kind of conflicted on
They
it.
were kind of the better scenes because the kids are the only ones you give a shit about. Like grown up Eddie and grown up Richie with Bill Hader, like they had a good dynamic, like because they were just like funny.
Yeah.
But like I didn't give a fuck about it. Grown up anybody, I wanted to like maybe it should kill them all. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping
that's
for
how,
like
that's how it felt in the It TV movie. It started with the adults, and then you get these adults who are just like you don't give a shit about, and you don't really know anything about them, and you find everything about them through flashbacks.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt similar like that as well. Like I guess the chemistry wasn't all there with all of the adults, but I think it's still a lot better than the first one as far as that goes.
the 1990.
Oh yeah,
So much better.
I could take a shit on a paper plate and say this is it, and that's Pennywise the Clown, and that's better than the fucking Tim Curry film.
I still respect Tim Curry's performance on that like a lot because that'll still scare me.
Yeah,
Like, that
that's
movie was
the
garbage.
that's the only saving grace.
That's not
for
even
that
a saving
movie.
grace. That's just like a happy accident. Like Tim Curry as Pennywise is scary. His performance is great, but the rest of the movie is so fucking bad.
It is. It's very
that
bad.
it drags it down to like it's still a shit movie.
I did like the practical effects though.
I didn't like the giant fucking crab spider at the end.
Well, you know what? Budget wasn't real back then. It was a myth.
Budget and effects was it?
Yeah, they should have put Tommy Savines on that shit.
Yeah, should have.
Not really.
You don't want to go anywhere near that mess.
He picks his battles. You know what I did like a lot was, okay, so you know the CGI like in it is not good.
No.
Right? Like we know that, but it's still good enough to it's
passable.
It's passable.
Yeah.
In this movie, I feel like they did it really well because they made it. Chapter 1 was all bright, beautiful, colorful, saturated. This movie is like super dark, super gritty, and it kind of added to the CGI because it kind of masked a lot of it. So the CGI looked a lot better. So I thought it was way more effective.
I could agree to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very overcast summer in chapter 2.
I love it. I love that. That's my shit. Man, I wish they would have added some more shit, like, besides, like, Native American shit. Like, the Native American shit was, like, one aspect of it. And then, like, they had the fucking, like, alien investigators, like, the government's, like, looking into it casually.
I don't think they know it exists because it predates
No, I know, I understand.
mankind.
I would, like, I know, and I know that's probably in the book, like, where it's the, like, the Native Americans, like, had a ritual against it or something like that. But, like, I wish it was more, like, it as, like, a fucking entity. Like something that, like, I wish there were more like aspects of people trying to fight it or trying to understand it, you know, from different
It's
angles.
literally Jeepers Creepers, dude. Like it,
Kind of.
you're gonna fucking kill it, and it's gonna come right back when it's feeding time.
Yeah.
I think that's why the whole Native American story is thrown in there because this battle is never gonna fucking end.
And that also kind of lends itself to like the whole Pet Cemetery shit with the Native American tie-in of how it was just like something that was always on the land and they just dealt with it.
Yeah.
And just like Stephen King
Let's see
shit.
the crossover.
I really want to say that I did, in the end, I think enjoy it better than at Chapter 1. Me personally.
What?
Like, I think I did. I really, really, honestly enjoyed this movie more than, like, some of the other movies that I've seen this year, so. But, so, in conclusion, Eric, you liked it. What would you rate it? You haven't thought about this at all, have you?
No, not the rating at all. I'd give it, I guess, a 7.
Cool.
6. I give it a 6.
All right. I give it a 7.5.
I also want to give it an extra point because I feel like this is a genre booster.
Yeah, like, because it wasn't, like, a total train wreck.
And it's a big mainstream hit for horror, and
Right.
that I have to give that extra points.
I agree.
Give it an
Fucking Bill
8.1.
Hader's.
Because it's not perfect, but it's pretty fucking good. Like, honestly, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of the best big budget horror movies that's come out in a while, I think.
Correct.
Would you all say it's better, like, for the genre than The Conjuring?
Yes.
Yeah. This is way better
Damn.
than Conjuring. Fuck Conjuring. Whole universe sucks. You know what? I want to see a Devil's Rejects-esque sequel where it's Hockstetter, Pennywise, and Bill Hader on the road just hijinksing.
On a comedy tour.
Hijinksing. It's funny.
Write
it's
it.
scary.
Write it.
Fucking write it, dude.
Fucking.
You know what's funny? There's an Elliott on some other podcast somewhere that's like getting mad about this theoretical idea of that particular plot happening.
They're probably gonna make this one movie. They're so fucking mad about it.
I hated Hostetter. It was the worst part of the movie.
He's putting down that evil and I'm picking it up, baby. But yeah, no, think about it. Like, fucking, you got a zombie, fucking loose cannon kid that's driving real fast, and then, like, scary Pennywise is like masterminding the whole thing, trying to eat children, and then Bill Hader's just like there against his will, but he's like so funny that he's just saying jokes while he's nervous. Fucking, that's a movie.
I mean, I'd watch it, but like nobody else.
Blumpy House, get on
I
it.
wouldn't review it on here.
No, I wouldn't review it. It's not a horror movie.
Bill Hader's gold.
That's out of my ass.
That was kind of a mixed bag, shotgun scattered review of It Chapter 2.
Yeah, it really was.
You know how like people that want to see like the original like Star Wars uncorrupted by Lucas, and they have to, and so people have to like illegally like get different sources and like piece it together.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be like a illegal like mishmash like one long film where they put it all like together how they want it, and that person's gonna be Hunter.
I remember they did that to The Matrix. It was called like The Matrix Dezionized or some shit. They put all 3 movies together and removed every scene that took place in Zion. They just took
make
all
it a
that
good
shit out
movie.
and it made it way fucking better.
Yeah.
I remember I saw that like 2005 or something.
Like because like if you intercut the 2 movies and like make it like or like do a fucking 1990s cut of It Chapter 1 and 2 and splice the 2 movies together, and then that might solve your problem.
No, absolutely. Like if they spliced
Nothing's gonna solve this problem.
like It 1 and It 2 into one movie, like I'd love that director's cut.
I want
I don't
to.
think it's gonna be a director's cut. I think it's gonna be a legal like Korean made thing. I don't think there will be a director's cut. I think they're gonna just like shit out this Blu-ray that's gonna have that stupid generic menu that doesn't even do anything. And back to fucking House of a Thousand Corpses. That's a fucking DVD menu, dude. That fucking is interactive as fuck. Back in the early 2000s when they actually gave a shit about DVD menus.
Yeah, when you fell asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and it's still going.
Yeah.
Now it's like you buy the Blu-ray and it's just like a blue button that says play and it's just like a still screen.
Yeah.
Like people don't fucking give a shit, just phone
Fucking
it in.
kids.
So expect that. So for It Chapter 2 Blu-ray, expect a fucking non-interactive menu with stupid little icons that don't match the scene or the tone of the film. Watching the movie now. Beep, boop, boop.
Hey, boys and girls.
Yeah, fucking, it's not that hard, dude. Make the play button, not like baby blue, and then like a scene selection that's like bright yellow. Make it like
He's
a book
angry.
or like a blood splat.
He's angry at his own idea. It's not even a thing. He's just already pissed off about it.
Pissed.
That's like a lot of.
I'm so fucking mad right now.
I'm so fucking angry. Man, DVD menus went down. Blu-ray killed DVD menus.
It was like album
You
covers.
sound like 75 years old right now.
The Stir of Echoes had the TV screen, and like the menu choices didn't even say that. It's like dig and shit, and then like you had to wait for it to like give you the options.
Yeah.
Or the Memento Special Edition, where you have to like do the psych test to get to your different menus. You have to like do the correct.
Fuck, I want to be part of the movie, bro.
Yeah, the Memento DVD is fucking confusing because it gives you like pages and you have to just like symbols and like pictures of stuff
just
to
quit.
get to the right.
Fuck this movie.
Yeah.
I don't even want to watch it. Fuck it.
Memento is basically you have to do like a contra code to like get the different because they
My
have
wife's never seen Memento, and it really bothered me when I found out. Because I was just like, yeah, that movie's kind of like Memento. She's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like explaining the movie. I've never seen that. The fuck? Get out of my car.
There's like a linear cut in the DVD where it's all like cut in order.
Yes.
But you got to put in a fucking combination to get to it. You want to like change it from Spanish to English, you got to look it up online. You got to get
I'm going to go watch Ravenous now.
Nintendo Power to fucking crack the code. But you know what I did like?
What'd you like?
Spoiler. Because I hated It 1990 because he was just like a crab spider, and in the book he's just a lady spider with eggs. I kind of liked him being like a giant Pennywise crab better than all that.
I actually didn't.
It's better than the original, dude. Did you see the fucking original?
I
agree
I've
with
seen the
Elliott.
original. I liked it. Like I liked knowing that it was like some fucking like monster that's bigger than that fucking like Pennywise. Like I didn't like that they kept the head Pennywise. You know,
Like
that was me.
The whole thing is I still was wishing as like it could be anything. It's 2019. Do something better, and then like they just like did the bare minimum by like keeping the only good thing about it as Pennywise the clown. They could have done anything because he's not even it. He's not even a fucking clown. He's anything else to be. He's basically the fucking Deadlights.
Yeah.
He could have been anything. And Stephen King is a.
I cannot wait for the Blumhouse Pennywise prequel.
That's what it's gonna be.
That's what it's gonna be. I already know it. I'm calling it right now. Blumhouse
You can't
does the
do that.
Pennywise prequel.
It's gonna happen. Much money as it's been put in,
Low
and
budget.
like
Yeah.
There's no way.
the whole fucking campaign of Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise, like there's gonna be a prequel.
Oh, no, the Warrens are gonna have to fight it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
gonna
awesome.
they're gonna
I'm
ruin
down.
it.
The Warrens have to fight
The
Pennywise.
Warrens versus it?
Yes.
Dude.
Most likely, it's gonna be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel level of shit.
No.
Probably.
You gotta put that out there.
Hopefully, it's better than It Chapter 2 because that was mediocre.
Dang.
But
You like putting evil out there. You just
I,
like it.
hey, I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I know what I'm working with.
Baby blue play button.
Baby boot play. I don't want to fucking still screen of the fucking box, picture. Can't fucking. Rob Zombie, he'll make a menu screen and make you think. We're gonna have an episode of DVD menu, the best DVD menus in horror.
I'm down.
Me
I'm
and
so
her are gonna do
down.
that.
Yeah, y'all can fucking do that.
Back in the day, so I used to have hundreds and hundreds of DVDs. They had taken up all of my room. So I thought it was a brilliant idea to get like CD albums, threw away the fucking boxes and covers and just put all my fucking DVDs in there.
I know a lot of people do that. It kills me.
I so regret it. Number one, I regret the fact that when I went to go help my parents move and I was really excited because I left all my DVD albums over there, there was only one instead of 6. Oh, we sold those. We got like $20 a piece. They sold my Laserdisc,
Oh, fuck.
my Laserdisc player, half of my movies. Well,
That
actually,
sucks.
most of my fucking movies.
My parents are hoarders, so like all my shit's still there.
Oh, no, my parents are opportunistic. That shit's been here for 5 years. I thought you didn't want it, so.
Legally, it's
You're a grown ass
dead.
man. What are you gonna do with that shit?
Legally, those DVDs were dead, and we.
That reminds me, watch Unbelievable. That was a really good.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Oh, the short series. God
Yeah,
damn!
that series
How
on
do you
there?
get this time to watch all these?
Dude,
fucking...
when we were out in East Texas in the middle of the night, that's what we watched.
And
We binge watched
vacation
that.
to
That
him
shit
is
was
just
good,
going
dude.
someplace else to watch TV.
Yeah.
Dude, I was watching YouTube videos and shit. And like, how do you do this shit?
Can't do that anywhere else. Oh my god! All right,
Agreed.
That's it.
so
Okay.
we'll wrap that up.
Wrap it up.
It's done. Let us know what y'all thought about it. Like, because I mean, honestly,
Nobody ever lets us know.
Nobody ever fucking interacts with
you
us.
see, actually lately.
Yeah, we did.
Your
did.
mom, that's about it.
Not my mom, but on
people do.
Instagram, like I asked a question and somebody answered. Two people answered my question.
Yeah, that was me, dude, on my fake account.
Yeah, see.
No, people are like nobody
People
sees
as
our
in
shit if
13
we don't
people.
post.
I gave him a cheat code for it.
And also, me and Eric were trolling Hunter. So, like, that's why there was, like, Wizard of Oz and Rambo stuff on our story. Because we were trolling his ass. Well, that's what we do. So,
Wizard of Oz, scariest horror movie of all fucking time.
Like, honestly, like, hey, that episode, we can do that episode.
Fuck it, we'll do it. I'll do Rambo next time. That's a fucking horror movie.
You stop it right now. See, here's the thing. If you're gonna do that, you need to do
Fucking high body count.
No.
Lots of
No.
gore.
No.
That's a fucking horror
No.
movie.
That is not a horror movie. You're what's wrong with
He's a
with horror.
slasher, dude. Fucking slasher.
No, Cobra. You're thinking of Cobra.
Fuck, Cobra is one of the best slashers ever made.
I'd rather you do
Absolutely.
Cobra than Rambo.
I'll do Cobra.
We're not
I don't
doing
give a
either.
Fuck.
So,
Terminator was a slasher.
I like when he slashed with all the bullets.
Same thing. It's the same thing.
it's metal breaking through skin. It's
Same
slashing.
fucking thing.
He
It's just at a
stabbed all
higher
these people
velocity.
with all these bullets.
Fucking shit.
It's
He
just a
stabbed all
faster
those
velocity,
cops.
my friend.
All right. Well, we just started a new YouTube channel. We're going to start posting more shorts on there, probably some one-off reviews that we can't make on the podcast here. Because I've noticed there's a shortage of like indie horror film reviews on like YouTube.
Because nobody watches that.
Like I know, but like, wouldn't you rather than waste like an hour watching a movie that like you're just not gonna like? I would. So I'm gonna start doing that. Y'all are welcome to too. But
Do we need to have a webcam for that?
what
Do we need like a webcam to do that?
to do a YouTube video?
Yeah.
You sound like Elliott right now. You straight up sound like
I
Elliott.
have a videotape recorder.
I'm honestly gonna use
I
my
think you do.
DSLR.
I think you have a VHS camera. Not even the little VHS tapes, like the actual full size VHS.
I think I have one. Do you guys want to use that to make a horror short?
How would he get that on a
Yes.
computer?
There's ways. I mean, we could film it. We could film it with a fucking like actual camera.
I'm Hunter and there's Wave.
All right, we're on Facebook at Cult of Horror. We are on Instagram at Cult of Horror TX. We are on YouTube at Cult of Horror. And
if you would like us to mention you, please send us free merchandise. We'll definitely
we like
give
free
you a shout
stuff.
out. Free merch.
We should be posting more here consistently every 2 weeks. We're going to try for that. That's what we're shooting for. Let us know what you think. Let us know what topics you want us to cover. Tell a friend about us. So I guess join the cult, drink the Kool-Aid. Have a great day.
Drink the Kool-Aid, bitches.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches. Drink the Kool-Aid. Bitches.
What?
Hit me with the plot, homie.